First, start by giving honor to God. You know that's important to me. There's more important things in life than just winning a basketball game. But more importantly, I apologize for we're late coming in here, but we get ready to go on the road, play our first league game. We're flying out here in an hour, and we gotta have our heads ready to go into probably the best team in our league, Valparaiso, and to do well there. So there's a lot of things we had to say because we didn't bring it to our best ability today. But it will come eventually. And we'll figure it out. We got to figure it out. It's a lot here that, with a young group, that you got to figure out.
Questions for Tim?
Tim, with such a young team, you being the senior on the team, what can you do to pull the guys out of this what you're going through right now?
I think first of all, it's a big understanding that our conference is just about to start. This is where the season gets tougher. Everything means more now. Everything in the past, we kind of got to take that, forget about it, learn from the mistakes that we made. But we have to realize that our season is in front of us.
Tim, what happened with the technical that you can tell us?
I mean, I think everyone can understand it's a pretty heated rivalry. I don't think personally that the stuff going back and forth, I don't think I said anything that deserved a technical. Normal basketball talk, get that out of here. I mean, I think they were trying to nip something that might have fueled too early, and we were on the losing half of that. I think some of the stuff that they did, slamming the ball on the ground, stuff like that, you could look at it both ways.
Anything else for Tim? All right, thanks, Tim. Question for the coach.
Gary, the losses, the last four, especially against, admittedly really superior opponents, have been pretty decisive. A couple of them 30 or more points. What exactly?
Only went to 30. We don't go beyond 30.
Okay. What exactly?
Don't bury it into it. As bad as hurting as it is, man. Come on, don't screw the thing all the way through.
What are the one or two things that you've identified?
Let me explain one thing before I continue on. I have never been in a program we lost games like this. Mm-hmm. Period. I've never been in a program like this. Now I got to figure this out because I can't I got to get some new people because this is not how I go.
Seemed like there were 3 games tonight. They got a big run. They were up by 19. You cut it with a 28-9 run where it seemed like it was all coming together, and then it all fell apart.
Well, those kind of things happen when you got young teams because they can only muster up so much. And they took away one of our catalysts, which they did a good job on. I got to give them credit on that, was Charlie. See, when Charlie don't score at all for us, we're an average team. And that's what happened. And if you go back and look at every game we have played and lost, Charlie has been taken away. Now, Charlie got to figure this out. But you know what this game came down today? Is you don't miss 13 free throws and turn it over 17 times and expect you're going to win. You just don't do that. And that's what we're constantly doing. And I don't know what that is. When we put in the time shooting free throws, lots of time. I probably put in more time than anybody in any program doing this. Because that's who I am. I believe in free throws. All my teams have always been in the mid-70s. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, we got a bunch of guys that are struggling with this.
How much of it is, because the one point where you got it back down to 2, and even with the technical, that was a stretch. I think you missed 6 or 7.
Well,
you're still in it then if you're making those free throws. Is what I'm trying to get to.
Well, one of the things is who they fouled.
Well,
okay. I got to be real. And that's like a shack attack. If you foul that one, you go miss a lot of free throws. A lot of free throws. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he wants to miss free throws. Mm-hmm. He just and I think he practices it. I think Howard practices it every day. Yeah. But he goes up to that line and something happens. Something clicks in there that all of a sudden, you can't make the free throw. If we, hear me, if there was a period there, if we hit 4 or 5 free throws that we had, and it wasn't just one, because even Junior went up there and missed 2. And I mean, and then Charlie went up there and missed 2. And Charlie's a very good free throw shooter. And if we just hit our free throws, because they hit theirs, that was the difference.
Right.
If we hit our free throws, it's a game. I mean, maybe we don't take the lead, but it's a game.
We've talked before about the turnovers, breaking it down in terms of forced, unforced.
Ooh.
Where
We had
does this-
17 today. I bet you it was 17 unforced turnovers. I bet you 7 were on travels. 7 on travels. That means they don't even have to play defense.
Right.
They just sit there and watch, and you just give them the basketball.
And that's not just one. Now I haven't seen you a lot, but two or three times I've seen you, I've seen a lot of that.
A lot of it.
With you guys. And it's
coming
not just
from
one guy.
It's actually coming from 2 of our freshmen.
Two.
And I, and we work on this on a daily basis. I don't know. It's probably some things they got to get used to at this level.
Is it undecision? Are they seeing something?
It could be indecision.
They think they see something and then it changes midstream?
That could be it.
Physical.
Nah, I don't know if it's as much physical because they're doing a jab kind of movement, and trying to cross over, and it's hurting us because it's hurting momentum. I mean, we'll get 2 or 3 of them in a row, like today. We got 2 or 3 of them in a row, and it's a 6-point ball game. Instead of it being we score on all 3 of them, and it's an even ball game. The game's, now they score 2. It's a 10-point game.
Gary, you look at Bonna, Akron, and Kent. In the first 8 minutes, I realize games are, that they're 40 minutes long. But you look at the first 8 minutes of all 3 of those games, and you guys are looking up at Mount Everest from the bottom of the hill.
And you know what has been
Is that,
consistent?
is
No.
that
Let me tell you what it is. When you know what consistent is, and we've charted this. In our first 15 possessions, we've turned the ball over 8 times. And they have scored on over half of them. We're actually, I had one of my coaches go through one of the last games because I was really disappointed in our defense. And we looked at Akron. It was the Akron game. And we looked at the first half. No, he went the whole game. But at the first half, do you understand they were 2 for 15 against our man-to-man defense. 2 for 15. On our turnovers, they had scored 15 points. Okay, you see the difference there. And we played a few gimmick defenses, they scored almost 70-80% on them. So what we're doing is we're changing, just trying to get out of something. But what we got to do is we got to be more solid, because we're not being solid right now. We're unsolid, and I got to figure this out. Is it personnel problem, or is it your fundamental problem? I got to figure that out, because we are not giving ourselves a chance to win. That's what I'm getting to. When you turn the ball over 17 times, you're not giving yourself a chance to win. When you miss 13 free throws, you're not giving yourself a chance to win. You take those 2 things alone, it's probably a tie ball game going into down the stretch. It's like some of the other games you see here where we played better because we didn't turn it over as much. Like we played Old Dominion. We beat Old Dominion here. We turned the ball over 8 times. Now, on those other 9 turnovers we would normally have, we scored. You add 18 points to the equation. And there's another thing. We got to have our scorers score. We can't have, we're not that good yet where we can go a whole game where Charlie scores 4 points. You just can't.
Do you think you're getting enough out of guys like Tim and Sebastian?
Well, Sebastian is not a big scorer, so don't expect that to happen. But we need Tim to score in order for us to be a better team. We need Tim to score for us to be a better team. And teams know that, so they're trying to take Tim away.
Is it necessarily a good thing that when you're struggling to score today, Marlon went out and took 3 threes? I mean, he was. I mean, I know you're giving him opportunities to play out in the wing, but when you're struggling for points and your most athletic guy is out there shooting threes, is that necessarily a good thing? Is that design, or did the shots just not go down? Or
Well, you know, when you're playing on the perimeter, that's what they're gonna give you the opening. They're gonna be inside you, so you gotta take the shot. And, but, you know, also, whenever we got the ball into Devin, we had a layup. I
4
think-
for 4.
I mean, the problem is you can't travel 3 at a time when you get there on the block. And I mean, what I'm trying to say is we're stabbing ourselves in the foot. We're not, it ain't the opposition. This is what is disappointing right now. And this is what we talked about in the room. We got to say enough is enough. And I don't mean you may go out, we may go to Valpo and win. That could be hard to do. You know, they're going to be good there. But what we got to say is enough is we got to stop turning the ball over. We got to make our free throws.
Seemed like the give and go was there with Charlie, but in the first 10 minutes, but he wasn't getting the ball to Devin, or he was hesitant, or it was that split second where it was there and then it was gone, and the timing wasn't there.
Yeah, and we just didn't make the what I call a correct read, because the guy was there. I mean, we went in at halftime. We looked at the tape. There was Devin. Every time he set the screen and rolled, he was open. He was open. Now, it's another thing. Charlie's not tall to get through people. That hurts him sometimes. But it's not just Charlie alone. There's a lot of them out there that's not making that read pass. We've got to do a better job of that. And that'll come as time goes on. But, you know, I give you an example. We can restart this league. I don't think it's a team in this league want to win the league.
I don't think either league.
I'm telling you, it really, I mean, how poorly we have played at times, this team still got a chance to do well in the league.
Yeah.
But they gotta
want it.
They gotta want it, and they gotta stop all this other stuff. They gotta start playing some consistent, fundamental basketball. Because right now we're not doing that. We're playing inconsistent, unfundamental basketball.
Anything else for Coach?
The statement that you open with not being part of a program like this, and either you have to fix it or bring some new people, is that what you told the guys after the year?
Oh, I tell them that all the time. I open beats, so I'm trying to get them riled up, be pissed at me, do something. However, let me quantify that. There is enough players eventually in this program, if you add a couple of people, that this is going to be a very good team in the very near future. We got to get through this time. I mean, this is a growing year. This is a growing time. We got to get through this. And we will. We will. I ain't going to let them die. Just remember that. I ain't going to let them die.